And my understanding now is that after James Wana-Iga has finished, that you'll see the lowering and hoisting of the flags, saying goodbye to the old flag of Sudan and hoisting the new flag of the Republic of South Sudan. It's got an interesting acronym, hasn't it? I suppose it sounds like ROS, Republic of South Sudan. And they're going to have some trumpets and so on. Then I think the president of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, is going to sign the transitional constitution of the Republic of South Sudan, and I think he does that before the president of the Supreme Court. He takes the oath of office, rather, with the president of the Supreme Court of South Sudan, and then you're going to hear the national anthem played. And then I think there are a series of speeches we're going to be getting. Finally, Omar al-Bashir speaks just before Salva Kiir himself does. Then there's going to be a 21-gun salute played to the national anthem of the Republic of South Sudan. So they're saying here, I mean, obviously the statement that we've just heard from James Wana-Iga says going to respect human rights and the rights of all the citizens. He referred to the fact that South Sudan is going to be a committed multi-faith, multiracial, multi-ethnic country. And I think that's going to be the challenge. You know, there are something like 36 languages that are spoken in South Sudan, and it may be a surprise to a lot of people to hear that actually the language of communication, the lingua franca, is actually Arabic. When I was watching the proceedings on the South Sudan TV, a lot of the commentary was actually being done in very excellent classical Arabic by Southern Sudanese. So although the official language is English, what's known as Juba Arabic seems to be very much the way that the tribes of South Sudan communicate. What you're hearing there, if you can hear it in the background, South Sudan, way, I think that's long live South Sudan in one of the languages of Southern Sudan that isn't Arabic. And I don't know if you're still with me, but the whole proceedings today, the official proceedings, were kicked off by Pagan Amoum, who's the General Secretary of the SPLM, the ruling party. And he just spoke entirely in Arabic, even though he's a very fluent English speaker. And I suppose that's because he was addressing the crowds then of the Southern Sudanese, and they would be better able to understand the Arabic than the English. So you may want to dip into his hailing, long live South Sudan.
The next item on our program is the raising of the flag of South Sudan and the lowering at the same time of the flag. Let the military finish.
Well, there you go, a very symbolic moment of the raising of the new flag. South Sudan has its emblem, its symbol, extremely important. Zainab Badawi monitoring all this from Khartoum. And real excitement, Zainab. We saw people dancing there during that declaration, waving their little flags. Very, very excited.
Absolutely, James. I think, you know, here I am in Khartoum, and I would say that the feelings here would be quite different, seeing the lowering of the flag of Sudan and the hoisting of the Southern Sudanese one. But as you say, the South Sudan flag, rather now as I should call it, it's no longer Southern Sudan, it's the Republic of South Sudan. And I think that people feel, well, we wish you luck. And they will need a great deal of luck, because the government really has got a lot of challenges to meet. And as you can see, the aspirations of the people are extremely, extremely high. And Mark Hugh James, you know, you're only looking at most of the people in Juba. I think in all there are something like 3,500 southern Sudanese who've been officially invited. They're made up of tribal chiefs from all over South Sudan. But if you go to the hinterland beyond Juba, that's where you really see the expectations. Okay, and you can see pictures there of it looks like that's the lowering. I'm trying to see the pictures here. It's not terribly clear to me, but the lowering of the flag, as we said, has taken, and the raising of the flag of South Sudan there.
So those expectations, Zainab, as you're saying, very, very high outside of the capital. You know, once this is over, once this day of formality is over, what are the big immediate challenges for the people and for the leadership?
Well, I think President Salva Kiir now has really got to show his mettle as a political leader. He was always out in the bush fighting for many, many years as the commander, really, of the SPLA fighting the northern Sudanese. And I think a lot of people are going to be curious to know whether he can make that transition from being a military leader to an effective civilian ruler. He's donned his civilian suit. He's not wearing his army uniform at all, with his trademark hat, large fedora hat. And he's really going to have to make sure that the wealth of South Sudan is distributed in such a way that the people who really exist in conditions which are, I mean, I really have to say, quite primitive. There's no running water, there's no sanitation, schools need to be built. He's got to really, really work very, very fast. It's a huge country he now heads. It's the combined size of neighbouring Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda. So just imagine trying to link up the hinterland, the other parts of South Sudan, all together so that the country can sort of have a semblance of unity. It's really, I mean, I know we say this word, challenge, challenge, all the time, but it really is going to be a huge challenge. Then you know what? He's also got maybe something like half a dozen armed militias who are against him. He's from the Dinka tribe, which is the dominant tribe in South Sudan, but there are many other tribes, and they feel, look, you enjoyed the spoils of war as a result of your leadership of the fight against North Sudan. You have really got the lion's share of all the power. We now want to share in the peace dividend. You had the spoils of war. We want to now make sure that the peace dividend is more evenly distributed.
Okay,
and
Zainab,
I think that's where the...
I'm just going to say, let's just share in their celebration. Just let's get a flavour of the atmosphere there. Great excitement in Juba.
Well, yeah. Again, we have just passed another landmark in the history of our people. We have just listened to the national anthem of the Republic of South Sudan. It has been a wonderful moment for our people. And now, our people having achieved their independence that was fought for but achieved through negotiation, we would like the people to know what our president has decided about the flag of the Republic of Sudan that has just been lowered. The president of the Republic of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, has decided يلا يا جماعة نغني راجل جبان ما معنا راجل جبان ما معنا تابان معنا في الكلية بونغو ديكتور جورون دسوا جيني بونغو باين الباندا أكل وين
Well, quite some celebrations there, and also as we've seen some emotions, a lot of tears at the same time as shouts of joy as well. A lot of people have died, of course, in that country over the last few decades. Reflections on that in the comments of the speaker, talking about the brothers and sisters, the martyrs, and tears for people who've been lost, as well as cheers and waving of flag and hopes for the future.
In fact, announcing that our president, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, has decided that the flag of the Republic of Sudan that has just been lowered shall not be handed over to the representative of the Republic of Sudan. It shall be kept in the archives of South Sudan in recognition of the common history that we have lived together, in recognition of the fact that our name, Sudan, continues to be part of the name of the new Republic of South Sudan. That is for the public to know. Now, the next step is that having achieved our independence, we will have to govern ourselves according to some law, the law of the nation, the law that we will use to govern ourselves is the Constitution. It is that Constitution that we will all vow to respect and abide by, and that also will include our president. Our president, Salva Kiir Mayardit, will now come forward and sign the Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan. It's a transitional constitution.
Passed by the Assembly.
Passed by the Southern Sudan Legislative Assembly in a sitting a few days ago. Also, a sitting that was chaired by the Right Honorable James Wani Iga, Speaker of the Assembly. That constitution will now be signed by the President, and with that promulgation, it will come into force as the law of the nation, the mother of laws of South Sudan. It will be the same constitution upon which our President will take the oath of office, because it is that transitional constitution that gives him that title to be our President. So the next step now will be the promulgation of our constitution.
هسه بعد ما تم رفع علم بتاع جنوب السودان فوق في سماء بتاع جنوب الرئيس غرر رئيس جمهورية جنوب السودان.
The next step in this ceremony about to take place, the President of South Sudan, Salva Kiir, as we've heard there, he is going to be signing this new constitution. We heard in this gesture that the flag, the former flag of Sudan that has been lowered, will be kept in the south as recognition of their shared history, we have been told. So although this is about a split, it's about a country, a new country, they're also very careful there to remain, keep those vestiges of the unity with Sudan. Zainab Badawi in Khartoum, what about the symbolism, these little gestures? Will they make a difference to future relations, do you think?
You know, James, on occasions like this, symbolism does count for a great deal. And it is sort of say, look, we have recognised that our people have travelled a long and difficult road to the birth of this nation. Our northern neighbours were adversaries, but we want to face the challenges ahead as a stable and prosperous country. And probably there is a recognition there that they need to have good relations with the North. They don't want to have their attention diverted by you know, lots of struggles, political and otherwise, with the government here in Khartoum. So I think it's symbolism, but I think that there is a stronger message behind that, which is, okay, let's try